Hi everyone, you reached Chronicles of the Gray Hair Diva. If this is your first time, welcome. If not, welcome back. For all of you out there, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so that every time I upload a video, you will be notified. Hit the like button, chat with me in the comments, and when I get an opportunity, I will chat back. And share my video with your friends and family so that they can come to my channel and get to know me also. I'm here today with my recap, my take on Love and Marriage Huntsville. They're in season 3. This is episode 316 that I'm going to talk about, and it was titled No Holding Back, in reference to the last name Holts, for Melanie and Martell. So they start off with a meeting in Melanie Holt's office, which used to be the office of her and Martell, but now since they divorced, Melanie took the lease over and is now strictly hers. So the comeback group comes there to meet, to talk and see, what can become of them. What will they do? Well, I'm hoping at some point the comeback group actually makes a comeback, shows us a project that they are starting, and shows us it from start to end. We have to stay tuned and we have to see. So at this meeting, who do we have? We have the original couples, even though one of the couples have since split. We have all of them at the table for this meeting to see if they can come to some type of agreement, some type of meeting of the minds. So who's there? Melanie and Martell Holt, okay? Who else is there? Kimmy and Maurice Scott. Who else is there? Marceau and Tisa Scott. So all of them are there. They gather around the table, and they see if they can kind of mend the bylaws of the group since some things have changed. See if they all are in agreement to stay together and be a comeback group and actually do something. But long and behold, as usual, we can't get too far in this meeting because Melanie and Martell seem to still not be able to come together in the same room without throwing jabs at each other. So before we get to the jabs, I will say this. Anyone that has been married or in a relationship and then split with someone where they have to co-parent is not easy. It's a rough road. It's a rocky road. It's a roller coaster ride. But if you hang in there, and both of you are mature enough, you will eventually get to the other side and see the rainbow. The only thing I like about seeing this on screen is the fact that, it is reality. And they're showing what truly happens to a lot of couples when they break up, and it's still a lot of tension, but yet they have to navigate through that tension. And in addition to that, come together for some agreement for the kids. So I said it before, and I'll probably say it every episode. It absolutely breaks my heart, this time period that they are in right now. Unfortunately, I understand it all too well. It is not an easy task to get through because, to be truthfully honest with you, at the same time that you have to be mature enough to come together and make the best decisions for the kids, you are still going through your own personal hurt, pain, resentment, and you throw every other word you can in there. You're still trying to deal with that. So you have to be strong, deal with your own personal stuff, and then try to deal with, how do we come together even though we're not in agreement about anything else? How do we come together to make sure that our children that we both love gets the best out of this mess? So it's hard, it's difficult, and it's hard to watch. And I get sad about it sometimes because I'm like, wow, I know where they at. I know what it's like, and I just can't wait to see them get to the other side. So let's get back to the comeback group meeting. So at this meeting, I don't think they got anywhere. I watched it twice. I said I'm not watching it again. And my final decision is I don't even know if there's really a comeback group. But at this meeting, Martell, because he's in his feelings, and I understand why he's in his feelings right now, as Marceau said, because Martell is not winning. He's in a bad space financially. He's in a bad space mentally. He's dealing with a lot. He's not winning. Every chance he gets, he throws a jab at Melanie. And listen, she's not 100% innocent. She throws her jabs also. So when Martell got mad at the meeting, he says to Melanie, you neglect the kids. Dead wrong. Okay, especially because although the kids did not hear him, but still the children were in the office with them in another room. So Melanie gets emotional about that. Martell storms off. He goes to the other room, gets the kids, and leaves, right? But before that, Melanie did say hello to the kids and told the kids, before the meeting is over and y'all leave, I'm going to come back and tell y'all goodbye. But since the meeting ended abruptly and Martell just got in his feelings and left, he snatched the children up. He leaves. They don't get to say goodbye to mom. And the oldest, okay, what is her name? Mariah, she had like a little breakdown. She started crying. And I get it. The oldest child is always, not to say that they all won't be close to their parents, but the firstborn is always seems to be the most sensitive and closest to the parents because they were the first. And it just happens to just be that way. And she also is the one that has known life with her parents together the longest. So I'm sure it is heart-wrenching for her to now see them not together. But Martell was also in his feelings because you walk into a space that you and your wife used to share together. Both of your names used to be on it, and now it's just hers. So as you're breaking up with somebody, there are going to be, especially if y'all were together a long time, there are going to be constant reminders of this used to be us and now it's just him, or now it's just me. So it's so much that you have to navigate when you break up, and you have no choice but to navigate it when you have some common ground together. And the common ground is they have children together. 4 beautiful children, might I add. They are all absolutely, I love them. They made a beautiful family. And the children, when they speak, you could tell that both Melanie and Martell have a lot of goodness in them because you see it in the children when they speak. So it's just rough to see them in this space. I pray that this space passes by quicker than later. I want to see them get through this, and I want to see them be able to navigate and show us on the screen how 2 people who were once together and in love can now just, split and co-parent nicely. The other thing that happened at that meeting is Melanie said she absolutely does not want to work with Martell and does not understand why any of them at that table would want to work with Martell. The Scotts, and when I say the Scotts, I mean both the brothers, I will give them this. Their friendship with Martell, they still cherish it. They want to see their brother not drown in the jungle. So they're trying to help him. And every chance they get, they pour into him some good insight and information. But right now, Martell, because he seems like he's stubborn, he doesn't want to listen, and he's dead set on having the last word, because there are people out there like that. They do not care how many bridges they throw a bomb on and destroy, as long as at the end they got the last word. I have to say this. Michelle Obama, in my opinion, gave out the best quote that in every situation and circumstance we should try to follow. She said, when they go low, you go high. And, although I have to admit for myself, does it always happen with me? No, sometimes I slip up, I'm human. But as soon as I recognize that I'm going down in the gutter with somebody, I recover and pull myself up quicker. But I really try to go high when people go low. And Martell needs to adopt that mindset. So, they're always pouring into him. And yet again, here was another scene where they had to say, Martell, like, pretty much, and I'm paraphrasing, guys, do the greater good. Because all of this you're doing right now, it may impact your children in the future. And then you're going to be in your 50s and 60s trying to explain to them, why you're sorry and please forgive me. So let's move on from this comeback meeting, because it was really no resolution and it was what it was. So let me look at my notes and see what do we have next. Oh yeah, and I said that unfortunately every time Martell and Melanie together, shots are being fired back and forth, and both of them are getting wounded and hurt, in my opinion. Because Martell definitely did not have to say, you neglect the kids. And even the couples are a little emotional. They're like, every time we get together with Melody and Martell, there's a fight, and it's like it's nothing ever good, okay? And then I told you that she said, Melody said, she pretty much doesn't want to do business with them. So now we go to Melody. Let me see what I'm saying. Melody is okay. Oh, let me say this. I will say this. Maurice said something good and something important, right? He said, he said to Melanie, you're good right now because all is well with you and you're winning, right? And the reason why Martell is where he's at, because right now he's not winning. And in a little smidgen of a sense, I feel bad for Martell because he is in such what it seems to be a low space. And, he did what he did, and it is what it is. But I do hope that he recovers, because he has 5 children that he has to be mentally, physically, and financially responsible for. So that's what we have with that meeting, okay? What do I have next here? Oh, so Maurice and Marceau, they went to, play tennis together, and they pretty much was talking, and Maurice was telling him, all the good pointers that he got from having a session with Dr. Francis. And at that particular tennis event, little, tennis match or tennis date that they had together, Marceau said that he will not ever do business with Martell because of the current state that Martell is in. And he said because Martell just doesn't know how to, control his temper, stop fighting with Melody, and especially because maybe Melody is going to be part of the same business that they all going to be part of, or maybe not. He's saying right now, pretty much that's his brother, but he can't risk doing business with him, knowing that he is a firecracker, and at any given moment he could pop. I get it, and I understand it, and I don't disagree with Marceau, and hopefully Martell can pull himself together. Now, when Martell was in his confessional, if you ever seen that movie, Bonnie and Clyde, Bonnie and Clyde were menace to society. They went around robbing banks, killing people, and they were the absolute worst. And for some reason, at the end of the movie, finally, when the cops catch up to them and pretty much they're shooting them and they're about to kill, like they killed them. I don't know why, but I felt bad for Bonnie and Clyde, even though I know they did all of this horrific stuff and they took so many lives. That's kind of the best way I can equate how I feel for Martell right now. I know all that he has done, and it hurt a lot of people. It hurt his own family, because you had a wife, you had children, and you stepped out on your wife, and then you had another baby, and just all the hurt and pain that has caused. But still, I'm like, oh my God, I do feel bad for him. So now you have these very good friends that don't want to work with you or do business with you. You have your ex-wife that does not want to do business with you. And then on top of that, I forgot this, Martell is not studying for this test that he needs to take in order for him to excel in the business solely or with a partner. So he has a lot he needs to work on. And instead of focusing on Melanie and throwing shots, he needs to focus on the rebuild of himself. So here he has like another friend that just doesn't want to work with him. So we have a scene also where Melanie, Kimmy, and Tisa meet up at Kimmy's office, right? Kimmy and I guess it's her and Maurice's office. So they meet up there to kind of chat and kind of talk things out. And something significant came up that I love. Kimmy pretty much asked Melanie, like, when you go through this stuff with Martell and we're there, what is our role? How can we help you? How can we help y'all get over the hump and get past the road? And Melanie pretty much said, you just can't have us in the room together anymore. Which, you know, I agree that probably that's going to be the best course of action for them right now, because they don't seem to blend well and mix when they are together. But again, it's sad. And a lot of things that happen with couples when they split, it's very unfortunate. But the friends that were friends to the couple, it's almost like they always have to roll the dice and make a decision. We're having an event. Do I invite the wife or do I invite the husband? Because they can't invite both of them. And sometimes they can't invite both of them because, you know, either the husband is with somebody else or the wife is with somebody else. And, you know, they might come with their new significant others. And you don't want that tension at the event. Or you don't want them both there at the event because you know they're just going to butt heads and go at it. So breakups impact the community of your friends that y'all used to be with together, because your friends have to always make difficult decisions on who do we invite. It's messy, it's messed up, and you know, it impacts everybody. So Melanie said no more of her and Martell in the same room together, and that's what's going to help them, you know, get through whatever they have to get through. So we end off, well, at that event, Melanie did mention, you know, the event with the meeting of the three ladies. Melanie did mention that, you know, pretty much she was going on a date. And you know, that is what it is. She has that right. She's single. And it was also mentioned again, and I hope finally they resolve their issues and they squash it. Kimmy and Tisa, just still a little bit at odds over what I would consider something so simple and basic, but for them it was major. It was like, who supported who when? Who doesn't support who? Why are you texting me about something you normally call me about? And they seem to hug it out in the end. Let's hope that this is the end of the war between the Scott sisters. I hope so. And finally, Melanie, we ended off with Melanie going to the construction site of a project that Martell is working on with a friend, and she needed to speak to him. And this is where I say Martell had the nerve. So Melanie went out on a date. Martell comes to where her date is or whatever, and you know, he's getting emotional. And he also said, like, because Melanie took or went on a date with someone in one of the places that used to be their spot, their favorite restaurants, and Martell had this nerve to tell Melanie to do better. Do better. I am now divorced, so therefore I am single, and I could date who I want. And you mad that I'm at a restaurant that used to be our spot with someone else? No, do better, Martell, is knowing how and when to keep your stuff in your pants if you are in a relationship or a marriage with someone. That's do better. Melanie is doing fine because she is single. Doing better is also not coming to where Melanie is on a date with someone else, approaching that someone else, getting all in your feelings when you, bro, are the one that in the reason why we are no longer together. So Martell wants to, say this narrative that Melanie was out in the streets too before they actually divorced. A moot point, in my opinion, because Martell, the ultimate is you stepped out. Your step out resulted in another child being brought into this world, and God bless all the children. But you did the most. So we don't want to hear any words from you. Yes, I still feel emotional for you because you're in financial straits right now, but you don't get to do you and then tell Melanie she needs to do better. She's living her life. So guys, that's the recap. This season is interesting. It's a little hard too because it's always hard to see when couples, well, they're no longer a couple, but to see people just go through it. This, when I first started watching Love and Marriage Huntsville, my real love for it was the fact that it was these three couples who had this, what I consider, amazing friendship, and they had this comeback group because they wanted to rebuild the community that they were in and just build up some low income housing. I just thought it was great and amazing. The fact that now one of the couples out of the three have since split, it is heart-wrenching. I'm coming to terms with it. And right now, well, I guess I came to terms with it somewhat. But really right now, what I would love to see is the full circle moment with them. And I'm hoping before the end of the season, we get to see a full circle moment with Melanie and Martell where they're in this good co-parenting stage. I do want to say this. I think that although they're butting heads, I feel like they're on the road to the good co-parenting stage because it seems like the kids are, 1 week with dad, 1 week with mom. And, when he called Melanie and said, you got to talk to Mariah, Melanie's like, okay, bring the kids back. So they do have their good moments. So there's hope. Anyway, guys, chat with me in the comments. Let me know your thoughts on this particular episode, your opinions. Chat with me in the comments. Don't forget to hit the like button. See you for next week's episode, and I'll see you in the next video. Talk to you soon. Bye.